Movie lovers were spoilt for choice during the 1900s of where to watch the latest film in North Kirklees. From the Grand Regent Picture House in Batley to the treasured Savoy in Cleckheaton, the area has loved and ultimately lost a number of movie theatres over the years. So in this video we're going to travel around Dewsbury, Batley, Mirfield and Spen to see where just some of our former cinemas used to stand. Which ones do you remember? Number 1, the Picture House, Dewsbury. Originally opened as the Picture House on the junction of Northgate and Marketplace in Dewsbury in 1913. It had other names before ending up as Apollo Cinema, which closed in 1993. Although the auditorium was demolished, its facade remains. Number 2, the Pioneer Theatre, Dewsbury. The Pioneer Building on Northgate, Dewsbury is a Grade 2 listed building, which is now home to Kirklees College. The Pioneer Hall, which was located on the second floor of the historic building, which opened in 1879, was known as the Pioneer Pictures and as a Pioneer Theatre during its time as an entertainment venue. Number 3, the Empire Theatre, Dewsbury. The Empire Palace Theatre on Wakefield Old Road, opposite Dewsbury Town Hall, opened in 1909 and closed in 1955. The building was demolished in the 1960s and replaced by Empire House, a base for Kirklees Council. Number 4, the Playhouse Theatre, Dewsbury. The Playhouse Theatre on Crackenridge Lane opened in 1931 before being renamed ABC in 1963. The cinema closed in 1970 before transforming into a bingo hall. The building closed in the late 1990s before being demolished in 2002. A Wilko's store was built on the site, which is now currently empty after its closure last September. Number 5, the Regent Picture House, Batley. The Regent Picture House on Bradford Road in Batley opened in 1920 and closed in 1983. The building from the outside at least remains, with pictures still emblazoned above what used to be its entrance and stonework dated 1919. It is now partly used for retail, but it has also been used as a bingo hall and a snooker club over the years. Number 6, the Victoria Hall Cinema, Batley. The Victoria Hall was built within the Batley Conservative Club building, which was built in 1891. It became a full-time cinema in 1913 and closed in 1957. The Victoria Hall Cinema then became the Victoria Function Room. Number 7, the Theatre Royal, Batley. This Batley cinema on the junction of Branch Road and St James's Street in the town was initially opened in 1896 as the Theatre Royal. It was renamed the Batley Hippodrome Theatre in 1912 and then the Empire Cinema in 1922 after the building had a makeover. It closed in 1961 and it has recently been the home of UK wrestling. Number 8, the Savoy Cinema, Cleckheaton. This beautiful grassland opposite Cleckheaton Town Hall on Bradford Road is where one of Cleckheaton's most iconic landmarks used to be. The Savoy Picture House, as it was known before it closed in 1980. Originally opened as the Picture Palace in 1910, it was renamed as the Savoy Cinema a decade later. The building was demolished and the site became a derelict before work began in the early 2000s to turn it into the now beautiful Savoy Square. Number 9, Palace Cinema, Cleckheaton. Just a few hundred yards away from the Savoy was the Picture Palace on Albion Street, which opened in 1910. Later known as the Palace Cinema, it closed in 1963 and was transformed into a market arcade. Number 10, Picture Palace, Heckmondwike. The Picture Palace on Croft Street in Heckmondwike opened in 1927 and closed in the early 1960s before converting it into a bingo hall. The building still remains. Number 11, Glen Cinema, Mirfield. Originally built as Mirfield Town Hall in 1868, this building on Huddersfield Road started to show films by 1910 as the People's Picture Theatre. It was then also known as the Town Hall Cinema, the Regent Cinema, and lastly the Glen Cinema before closing in 1955. Number 12, the Vale Cinema, Mirfield. The Vale Cinema, also on Huddersfield Road in Mirfield, opened in 1939. Number 13, the Pavilion Cinema, Ravensthorpe. Pavilion Cinema on Foundry Street in Ravensthorpe opened in 1914. And our final cinema today, number 14, is the Princess Picture Palace in Birstall. Princess Picture Palace on Market Street in Birstall opened in 1919 and closed in 1967. It is now a function and dance venue.